Hi guys, Will-O-Wisp here. Maplestory is an MMORPG released in 2003 that I hadn't ever really heard of until about 2 weeks ago, when this video popped up in my YouTube suggestion box. As a fan of speedrunning and Race to World's first documentary content, I decided to give it a watch. The cute art style and 2D platforming felt somehow nostalgic. It seemed as if the game was calling for me to give it a go. And after seeing the game is still available to download on Steam, I decided why not give it a try. Choosing my first character was difficult, not to mention a little overwhelming, but after reading the description for each of the jobs, I decided to pick the class Lara. The class seemed incredibly wholesome, and paired with its little cute sprite helpers, it felt just right for my first adventure in Maplestory. Just a little disclaimer before we begin. When I told my friends that I was going to give this game a go, turns out one of them had played a good amount of it in the past. And so when I asked them if they had any advice for my first day in Maplestory, the advice they gave me was a simple little list. It goes as follows. The Maple Guide is your best friend. To check the star menu for events, and to check the lightbulb menu for quests. To do the Afterlands questline, and please put your interact key on the Y button. Armed with this hopefully useful and still current advice, I set off for my first adventure in Maplestory. The Lara tutorial was very funny and cute, but there were a lot of cutscenes. Aside from almost dying straight out the gate due to running out of mana, it was pretty easy. During this time, I also organized my key bindings, remembering the advice I was given, and familiarized myself with the UI, which included accidentally obtaining some sort of Pokédex, which I'll have to figure out later. But anyway, I helped a kid free their kite, befriended the local thief, founded some sort of gang, killed a painter, and freed the town from some evil, money-obsessed loser. By the time I was done with the Lara introduction, I was level 40 and ready to reach my first job upgrade. Armed with some incredibly confusing skill that took me an embarrassingly long time to understand, I located the Maple Guide, claimed my level up rewards, and decided to take on the Renna Straits questline. After blasting through some rocks, rescuing a researcher, clearing up some pollution, catching some fish, clubbing some seals, crushing some robots, and obliterating the end boss, I was rewarded with a necklace, face scarf, and title. Somehow, I was already level 70. Sometime during this questline, I upgraded my job but unlocked some more skills I really didn't understand. But after spending some time grinding on some mobs to figure out my skills, I opened the little lightbulb menu. Here, I found lots of quests, which was a little overwhelming, but one of the quests was titled the Afterlands, and thinking it sounded familiar, I decided to check on my little advice list, and there I was, the Afterlands. So without further ado, I accepted and started the quest. Little did I know at the time just how long this quest would take me. I was going round and round in circles for hours. Eventually I had to look up a guide, and it turns out I'm just not very smart. When you follow a guide, it is incredibly easy, so thank you Appleseed. I was rewarded with 4 golden boys, which I put who knows where to give myself some extra stats. This whole experience got me to my next job advancement, which did not give me more skills, but just upgraded the ones I already didn't understand. After this, I was perusing the Maple Guide and wanted to see if there was any bosses available for me to kill. This rock golem totem boss, I'm pretty sure I entirely fluked. I put down my little spirit kids and ran round like a headless chicken, and before I knew it, I got some very well-deserved loot. I don't really know how to tell if something's a gear upgrade yet. I kind of just look at the attack increase, and if it has a plus, I equip it, and if it doesn't, I don't. It's probably not the most accurate way to tell, but it works for me, for now at least. A little lost, especially when I accepted some quest and got taken to some random town, I checked the lightbulb again and saw a quest called Maple Tour, which sounded really helpful. At the time, I thought it was going to show me around the city so I could know where all the useful shops are, but actually I was taken to an area where I killed some enemies for money, and it turns out I can do this twice a day. Next, I wandered around this Pantheon city I'd been taken to, clicking on some random NPCs, and this is where I figured out the banking system. Next to the banking NPC there was a little truck, and I decided to click on it, and I was taken to some sort of monster park arena, where I could fight monsters twice a day for massive experience, and I scored myself quite a lot of levels here. After having done my 2 runs, this is where I would call it a day for my first day in Maplestory. But overall, I had a really great time, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the game shapes up in the future. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Feel free to give me some more cryptic advice in the comments if you want to. I hope to see you in the next episode, but until then, see ya!